2nd of December 2011. Welcome to today's United Kingdom talk. Hang on, I'm just going to press something over here. I forgot to do something. Signing in on the other computer. How are you? All right? How's your asthma, by the way? Anyone suffer from asthma here in the UK? Because I have to say, this winter, my asthma is almost non-existent. Usually, it kicks off around September, October, and so far, so lucky. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. Do you think it's anything to do with the weather? Because here in the UK, we are still experiencing mild weather conditions. Of course, you'll hear from people like my best friend Ron, who sits in his house with the heating full on. As soon as he leaves here, oh, isn't it cold? Oh, isn't it cold? And I know so many people, oh, it's freezing. It's not freezing at all. It's absolutely not freezing. I'll tell you what, I think virtually everyone in the church that I go to on Sundays is the same, right? Because they're all in there with their coats on, coats and hats in the church, right? I'm in there, I cycle there, I cycle to the church, off comes the coat, off comes the sweat. I'm sitting there in the church in a T-shirt, and I promise you I'm not cold. I don't know what's wrong with these people. This is the trouble. When you have the heating on all the time, you feel the cold like that. But anyway, that's nothing to do with it. Are you an asthma sufferer, and have you noticed that this year, so far, it's not been too bad? I'd like to know about that, okay? My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, talking of asthma sufferers, I saw a story the other day that there's this brand new machine, okay, which is used at night and is supposed to be relieving the symptoms of asthma sufferers when they're asleep. Now, it's a very clever machine. Basically, where you sleep, this thing is positioned on top of you, right? Because they say when you sleep, that's the time when you're taking in all these bad things into your like air passages and what have you. Because while you're in bed, right? So you're in bed under the covers and you're laying there, and there's always a bit of a gap at the top, of course, where your head is, right? Apparently, the very fact that where you are in bed acts like a chimney, right? And all the little bits of dust, pet hairs, whatever, you know, whatever's coming out, all is channeled to come straight out of that bit where your head is, just like a chimney, past your mouth, and then out like a funnel. Now, this new device is supposed to push down, I'm not quite sure what it was, some ionizer or something like that. It's supposed to push down the air, leaving you like a purified area where your head would lay. And you would be on that all night long. Not only are people saying who've been trying this out that it's very good, it's helping them sleep at night, but also during the day they have less symptoms. Now apparently this device, I can't remember what it's called now, only uses the same amount of electricity as a 100-watt bulb. The only thing is the price at the moment is about, I think it was about £3,000. Not available to buy privately. You have to, the NHS, I think, are looking into it for people with the worst symptoms. But certainly, you know, I'm sure if you've got asthma, I know you're going to tell me about this, and you've woken up the night before. I mean, I've got to be honest, it doesn't happen here to me. It certainly happens at my sister's house. At my sister's house, regular viewers will know that she's got 3 dogs and 2 cats. And my asthma is havoc when I'm up there. It's dreadful. Absolutely. And I wake up at the night, you know, every couple of hours, and you reach over for that blue thing, and all that business, you know. So what a wonderful device. Don't know if you've had a look have a look around that new asthma machine or something like that on the Google, and you'll find out more about it. Okay, so what about your asthma? Is it not too bad this year? Perhaps have you heard about that machine? Do let us know. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Hello to James, who says, "Hi Chris, I may have missed something. I heard you say that Barry Manilow is leaving Las Vegas." That's correct. He's finished. He's done his show. His last show, I believe, is on the 10th of December. I take it he's coming to the UK. Is this temporary or permanent? Oh, no, temporary. He's just coming to do a few shows in May. I have my tickets already. Well, I don't have the tickets. I have the bit of paper. I paid quite a lot of money for them. I have to tell you, much more than the face value. There's this site called getmein.com, which is part of Ticketmaster, which I mentioned to you. And if you can't get the tickets that you want, you go on there and usually someone's selling them. So I got 2 tickets, one for myself and one for my niece. She doesn't know yet, so please, if you know my niece, don't tell her, okay, because that's her Christmas present. Well, actually, it'd be a Christmas and birthday present. Honestly, they were really expensive. However, not as expensive as what I've seen. Okay, James, let me tell you this. Now, I have, if you imagine the O2 Arena, okay, and you got the stage at the front, okay, the first lot of seats, like a block of seats, there's a block called A1, right, on the left, A2, which is in the middle, and A3, which is on the right. Now, I have, for myself and my niece, 2 tickets in block A2, row C. So we're fairly central and only 3 rows back. Okay, that's our tickets. Now, I had a look on the getmein.com site just yesterday, and there's some more tickets on there now. Okay, in block A1, so it's not in the centre, that's on the left, row H, okay, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, 8 rows back. Still not a bad seat, but nowhere near as good as mine. Those tickets are now going for, are you ready for this? £1,600 each. Now, I paid a lot of money, but nowhere near that. Nowhere. £1,600 to go and see Barry Manilow. You see, the man is huge. The man is a huge international star. Would I probably wouldn't pay that amount, to be honest. I don't think I'd pay that amount. But I would pay a bit more than what I paid, but I'm not going to tell you what I paid because it's just outrageous. It really is. And besides, I can't have my niece knowing what I bought her for Christmas and birthday. James says, I bet he would do tours at the A2. Well, he is. The O2. Well, he is. He's in May. He's only doing 1 show there. That is such a versatile venue and is directly on the Jubilee line for the concert goers. I think the O2 did a good thing with the Dome and did a good thing out of something the government couldn't do. I went to the Dome when the Millennium exhibition was there, and what a disappointment and a nasty smell. It was so bad. And the O2 is good, but there could be room for improvement. With O2, when I went there for a show, I felt there could have been improvements in view for wheelchair users. At the Indigo O2 nightclub. That was the only complaint. Well, I don't know anything about the nightclub, but I do know at the O2 their facilities for disabled people, perhaps in wheelchairs or anything else, are pretty good. They really are pretty good. I know a couple of people who are disabled, and if you want tickets, you usually ring up and they have like a special section which is quite close to the stage where they can sit and they don't have to pay loads and loads of money like I did for my tickets. All right. And too right as well, What I can't understand, what I can't stand is people who pretend to be disabled or ill and they're not, just to get tickets or just to push to the front. It's not on. It really isn't on at all. You've seen a lot of them, out in the car parking spaces for disabled people, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not disabled at all. They just don't want to walk, and it's downright laziness. And I think that's wrong. Very, very wrong indeed. That's it from James. Thank you very much, James. So you like the O2. I've got to be honest, don't like it, okay? I do not like the O2 as a theatre venue. As I say, I've only been once to see Barry Manilow. That was last year. I didn't find it particularly comfortable in there. My mate's been as well. He was quite cold while he was in there. It's not a theatre, It's not a. You have to remember, the O2 is not a purpose-built theatre. It's kind of, let's do this with it. Whereas if you go to a theatre, I don't know, somewhere like the London Palladium, somewhere like that, it's a proper theatre, and it's very, very different. When we went to see Barry Manilow at the Paris Hotel in Vegas, that was a proper theatre, okay? And you felt comfortable and it felt right. When I went to the O2, it was like, well, I'm here to see him, but the O2, no, not keen on it at all. Hello to lovely Jeanne. Hello, Jeanne, who writes, sorry I haven't been in touch recently. I've had flu virus. Oh, horrible. Don't you get the injection, Jeanne? I have the injection every year. Psst, straight in your arm, no flu. Wonderful. Although a bit of a rasping voice at the moment. Can you hear it? How butch and deep my voice sounds, Jeanne. She says, also, my friend Jane Stower, who I asked you to say hello to, lost her father in the last week or so to cancer. So I haven't been on Facebook. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry. Life has been a bit down, as you might say. I also lost my purse last week. How did you do that? How do you lose a purse? It didn't have much money in it, but in my middle compartment were 2 gold crosses that belonged to my mum and dad. Not worth a lot to anyone but me. So that's how my last 2 weeks have been. But you know what? Hey-ho, that's life. Some you win, some you lose. Still listen to your show, keeping me sane. Love you lots. Keep doing it, OK? Of course I'll keep doing it. I'm very sorry to hear, you know, you say it wasn't much money, but money is money. But more importantly, those crosses that belong to your mum and dad, I'm very, very sorry that you've lost those. But of course, one thing that no one can ever steal from you or you lose is those memories on your mum and dad. Am I right? Come on, you know I'm right. How many times you sit there, perhaps when you're on your own or maybe in bed, and your mum and dad drops into your head? Does it happen? Does it happen a lot? Would I go so far as to say it happens all the time? Because I know. Because I'm in exactly the same boat. 11 years my mum's been gone. And 96, 06, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 years my dad. And believe me, they drop into my head all throughout the day, and especially when I'm in bed at night. So that's one thing you can never lose. Don't worry too much about the crosses. I know they were precious to you. And I've got a little thing around my neck, actually. A little emerald thing. Just a minute. Oh, yeah, little emerald thing. I bought that for my mum. It wasn't a very expensive thing from Florida when I was there one year. And just before she died, she took this off her neck and says, "Can you look after this for me?" And yes, that stays on my neck. And there has been a couple of times where it's nearly got lost. I think these gold chains, I mean, not particularly thick, but I also have my mum's cross. And I very, very nearly lost that. I was out somewhere and I thought, oh, what's that on my chest? And I put my hand down and the cross had broken up. Well, cross hadn't, the actual chain had broken. It wasn't a particularly thin chain. And I think perhaps some of these chains, they don't last that long. Maybe it's a thing to perhaps wear it for a year or so and then get a new chain. I don't know what the answer to that is. John Goldin is very shocked by what we paid for lunch at Frankie and Benny's the other day. £48 for a lunch. Yes, it was expensive. Yes, the food was nice, but it was over the top. We won't be going there again, I'm afraid. And finally, on the show today, Peter writes, on the subject of your bike puncture, where you had a back puncture last week. Dear Chris, about your bike, you were being taken care of by your guardian spirit, your spirit. Think about why your back went, but not the front. What do you think about it? A front puncture is probably a lot more serious, especially if you're going down a hill at speed. You know, you'd lose control of the bike. And he says, we have help so many times from our spirits, our guardian spirits, but we never say thanks. You've got a thing there, Peter. Is very into spirits. I believe in such things as well, actually. That's it from the show today. Thanks, as always, for watching and listening. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. See you on the next show. Bye-bye.